What is up, guys? We're back with another episode of Devil on G String. Last we left off, we met Tsubaki's family, and we tried to slither our way into getting them to sell their land. But let's just get right back into it. The wind tonight is cold enough to pierce through one's skin. Is this us, Kyousuke? Or is it Maou? Kidnapping, a crime said to be one of the most despicable. However, which crime isn't despicable? Oh, it is Maou. Maou fully understands that action he's about to take is a sin. His people had already done a background check. He found the answer. The reason Miwa Tsubaki's family won't sell their land has nothing to do with money. That land has been in their family since the First World War. Her father is very stubborn. There is no telling how much time it would take using conventional methods to get him to sell. And even if he did take the time out to try, it was doubtful that the result would be a desirable one. This isn't a financial problem, but even so, there's a financial loophole. There are indeed many times when money cannot solve matters. Maou must at least admit that. There are emotions, love, family, certain kinds of pride, things that are more important than money to many. However, even for these exceptions, there are always a way to convert such things to something more fiscal. Mao's plot is to transform this issue from an emotional one to an economic one. That plot took on the shape of a crime in perfect form. He left that place with the faint stride of an evil spirit. Ooh, what's he gonna do, man? It's probably gonna be bad for Tsubaki, which sucks because she's a good girl. I like Tsubaki. The next day, I went to Dr. Akimoto's clinic.
Yeah, Kyousuke-kun. Ohayo.
Damn, we're back at therapy? The counseling room is clean, and Akimoto is smiling like the Buddha, as always. Good morning. I hope that our hour today is fruitful. I won't be showing up after this afternoon, though. We were talking about my childhood. Yeah, you did. You did. Is that so? I don't remember, and it doesn't really bother me. What about it? I smiled slightly. So, sorry for these random pauses. I'm still feeling a little coffee today. So let's get into it. Surely you ain't implying that I am suffering from some form of memory illness. That's a relief. This doctor is pretty good with words. His pudgy, round face closed in slightly. Oh, shit! You mean Azai Ganzo? It feels like he's talking about someone else. Suddenly, my stomach started to ache. He was a trading company employee. Although he was deep in debt, he was always a wonderful father in my mind. Otherwise, there's nothing much to say. I turned away from Dr. Akimoto. Gazo hasn't told you? Gonzo was the only one who introduced me to Dr. Akimoto. He looked long and hard at me. Anyway, would you mind if we change the subject? I don't want to remember these things. I definitely don't want to remember these things. That is the door I've always locked tightly. Dr. Akimoto, please change the subject. Good Lord. I never once asked for any real therapy sessions from you. I just need a doctor's note so the school will excuse my absences. That's why I cough out the money to uphold these farcical conversations.
仕事だからね。
He spoke almost as he could see right through me.
遊びじゃないんだよ。ね。
At that moment, a proverb sprang into mind. You can't judge a book by its cover. There was something important that I was forgetting. Ah, that's right. You're an acquaintance of Gonzo, after all. For a moment, I saw an expression of a wild boar in that pudgy face, gazing sharply at
君
me.
に何の異常もないというのなら、すぐにも通うのをやめてもらう。重ねて言うが、私だって仕事なんだよ。時間は貴重だ。君ならわかるね。
In other words, Dr. Akimoto, you suspect that there might actually be something wrong with me? Akimoto shook his head in a vague manner. He never answered that question. Never mind. we were talking about my biological father, is that right?
名前を聞いてもいいかな。
Toshikatsu. I purposely left out his family name.
商社に勤めていらっしゃったと。
In the Sanao Corporation.
あ
Oh. Whenever people hear this of someone working at Sanao, they immediately get the impression of a great and well-educated man. This impression isn't
あ。
mistaken.
じゃあ転勤が多かったんじゃないかな。海外とか行ったかい。
No, not very often. Well, not from what I can remember, anyway. I'm pretty sure he was an accountant in the main branch.
そっか。君はちょっと普通のことは違うから帰国子女なのかと思ったよ。
I chuckled and shook my head.
ところで君のお父さんは商社に勤めていてどうして借金を。
I believe he wanted to build his dream house. That was supposed to be a joke.
偏見かもしれないが山王物産の経理をしていたような方がマイホームを持つのに消費者金融を頼るとは思えないよ。
Dr. Akimoto is exactly right. And in order to pay for his debt, father had to get his hands on dirty money. He was swindled.
騙された。
You know, swindled. Swindled by his trusted friend and ended up becoming his guarantor. Dr. Akimoto gulped when he heard
ちょっ
this.
と待ってくれないか。
It seems he figured it out.
君のお父さんというのは
An expression of fear and awe spread across his
ひょっ
face.
として
That's right.
都市活と言ったね。
I was aware that my heart was rapidly becoming cold. Yes, he is that Samejima Toshikatsu. Oh shit. After that, time seemed to pass in an instant. Dr. Akimoto didn't say word after word. He just closed his eyes. After leaving the room, I finally calmed down. I headed for school. Upon arriving at school, I haven't seen her forever. Can immediately begin to pester me. It seemed that she'd been absent from school for a while due to training camp. Ah. Oh, what is it? She threw her chin up in the air as to herald her bragging. Oh, look at her. Live. She's ignoring H.E.
だからいつなの ?24 時間ぶっ続け生テレビっていう番組だよ。だから俺の話を聞けよ、
Hey, not bad. If you're invited to be a guest on that program, then it means you really made it big.
どんなことするの？セントラル街でね、夜中ね、マラソンしてる人に応援するんだって。
Oh, you're just a cheer that night.
ちょうどのんちゃんのいるところがマラソンの休憩地点みたいで、のんちゃんがお水とか渡すの。
Wow. Is that so? then a lot of people will show up to see that, won't they? When people gather, money gathers. That's great, Kenan.
やったー、兄さんに褒められた。
Usami was the next to speak.
自分もテレビ経験あるんすよね。
What the fuck? Huh?
本当？
No, it's an obvious little bull. As what? Some gloomy character on a comedy
い
show?
えいえ、アーティストとして。
An artist?
いわゆる一つの芸人ですね。
So it really was one of those comedy shows.
まあ、私の話はいいじゃないですか。
Aren't you the one who brought this up?
うさみん面白いな。お笑い芸人さんだったんだね。みんなすごいな。私だけ特に目立った活動とかしてないけど、私はそれでいいんです。ある。
Lunch break ended on this strange, absurd note. I dashed out of the classroom right as the bell rang. I was weaving my way through the students as I spoke over the phone. Yes, this is Azai Kyousuke. I'm heading over there right now. I need to talk with Sanao Corporation's developers. I really don't want to meet with them face to face, but given that the situation hasn't been settled after all this time, I have to at least apologize in person.
あざいくん。
Oh, Tsubaki! I heard Tsubaki's voice. I ignored her and continued my phone call. Oh, a bit late? I see. No, it's okay. It looks like I still have some time before the meeting. So, Tsubaki had a pretty great
あざい
training.
くん、ちょっと遊んでいかない？
Oh. After saying goodbye, I turned off my cell phone and turned towards Tsubaki. It should be okay if it's only for an hour or so. How about Central Boulevard? She nodded like a little kid.
昨日のお礼がしたかったんだよ。
Yesterday?
ひろあき、探してくれたでしょ？
Ah, that kid. Alright, that was nothing.
変なあざいくん。
We headed for Central Boulevard. Central Boulevard is always crowded around dusk. So how do you plan to repay me?
クラシックの CD とかどうかなと思って。
Are you gonna give me Bach a gift?
何がいいかな？
Thank you for your gesture, but I already own all the CDs I want.
ああ、それもそうだね。あざいくん、クラシック通だもんね。
A fanatic? Me? Well, I wouldn't go that far. If I called myself a fanatic, I'd offend the true fanatics.
別にマニアとか言ってないんだけどな。
She is right. Oh, wait a minute. Perhaps that will be coming out soon.
あれ？
A CD by my favorite musician of mine. Although she's taken a break from music, a publishing company is still releasing her CDs. When a company has copyright to the music, even if the musician no longer play, they can still repackage and re-release their works.
何の楽器？
The violin.
へえ、バイオリンなんだ。
What? Not violin. What?
ごめん。
The heck, Tsubaki? Her interpretation of Air is my favorite.
エールっていうと？
Air on the G string. It's so movie that it brings tears to my eyes. Recently, I hear it's been used at Requiem. Oh, I can see why too. I wouldn't mind resting in peace if I got to do so to that song.
G-senjouのアリアって鎮魂歌なの？
Well, not really, but hey. You remember that big terrorist attack in America a while back? It was used during that.
へえ、知らなかった。
Is that true? I gotta look that up. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it.
楽しそうだね。
Yeah.
楽しそうだね。
Why did you say that twice?
あざいく、クラシックの話になると生き生きするね。
Well, maybe.
あざいくんが楽しそうだと、なんだか私も嬉しいよ。
I see. She really can spout some corny things so naturally at that. Anyway, don't bother buying me a CD. Why don't you just treat me to a cup of coffee? Umu. You don't have any part-time jobs, do you?
そうだよ。
What about an allowance? I looked at the coffee sitting in front of me. The coffee Tsubaki paid for.
うちってそんなに裕福なわけじゃないからね。
So you've been saving your money?
夏休みとお正月にアルバイトしてたんだよ。それでなんとかやりくりしてるの。
You don't work during the semester?
弟を保育園に迎えに行ったりするからね。アルバイトしている暇はないかな。
That's tough. I see, so that's why you went home so quickly that other time. I'm pretty sure this is the second time I've had coffee with Tsubaki. Last time we just chatted for a bit before partying.
今日ももう少ししたら帰るね。
To Hiraki's kindergarten? Tsubaki nodded. I decided to use this opportunity to get some information. Well, you have quite a large family, right?
そうだね。びっくりしたでしょ。
What about family expenses? Your budget's generally pretty tight. Huh?
どうかな。苦労したことはないけど。
Ugh. I put on a gentle face. You know, I heard something from an acquaintance in real estate. Your family's land is situated right in the middle of a market hotspot right now. Your folks might be sitting on a gold mine.
そうらしいね。
Aw. And don't take this the wrong way, but if your dad decided to sell, there are supposedly people willing to pay for your move and the first month's rent at your new house. Tsubaki remained silent. I shouldn't push her too quickly. Sorry, you probably don't want to move, do you?
心配してくれてるんだよね。
Well, the reality is that they're backed by Sanao. The local government seems to be cooperating with them in the development of the tourist attraction as well. Things might get hairy if you keep rejecting their offers.
うちの近くの景色もどんどん変わってるもんね。ご近所さんもかなりいなくなっちゃったみたい。
Well, while the term land sharks does sound bad, they're thinking about what's best for everyone, those moving out, as well as those developing.
スキー場の周りに遊園地とかできたら町の人も喜ぶもんね。
Although those developing the land benefit far more than those people who are pushed into selling their family land.
ひょっとして大きな目で見たらうちがわがままなのかな。
I wouldn't go that far. That's exactly what I'm saying.
でもね、浅井くん、
Hmm? Tsubaki's eyes were huge.
私はお父さんの意見に従うんだよ。
I could almost feel her passion.
だって家族だもの。
Before my eyes were her true intentions, doubtless unwavering and stripped bare.
お父さんはたとえあの辺でうちだけが取り残されても出ていかないと思うな。私、そういうお父さんを応援したいの。
In other words, even if I get Tsubaki on my side, it's to no avail. She'll choose her family over her lover. I see, you and your father are really close, aren't you?
大好きだよ。
Of all the youths fooling around this time of night on Central Boulevard, how many would say with a serious face that they love their fathers? You and your dad must share a lot of fond memories or something.
思い出？
You know what I mean. Beautiful stories, maybe. Like, when I was little, I got lost in the mountain and my dad searched for me day and night. That sort of thing. Tsubaki chuckled.
特にないよ。全然普通だよ。家族でちょっとおしゃれなレストランに食事したり、みんなでリンゴ取ったりしたくらいかな。
That's it?
美談か。そういうのなくても、お父さんは大好きだよ。
There's always been something I didn't like about Tsubaki, but now I knew what it was. She's too perfect. It irked me when she ran to help Usami. Tsubaki trusts her friends just because they're her friends. Tsubaki trusts her family just because they're her family. So someone like me who doesn't trust anyone feels uncomfortable. I find myself wondering how someone like that could really exist.
ごめん、そろそろ帰らなきゃ。
Oh wow, it's gotten pretty late.
昨日は本当にありがとう。これからもよろしくね。
The brightness of her smile irritated me somehow. After parting ways Tsubaki's, I immediately made a phone call. And we'll figure out what that is next episode. If you like what I did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And we'll be back with another Devil on G-string. See you guys.